All right, let's go over the steps to starting your digital payment business. Now, at this point, you've probably saw something online. You probably saw a viral reel, maybe you saw an article, or maybe you just realized that, wait a second, if I have crypto and this merchant's only getting paid in his Visa or MasterCard, why am I not bridging the gap so that I can make some money too? So I kind of came to the same conclusion a little while ago when I realized, hey, I have all these accounts that are making me residual income with traditional payments, but no one's doing crypto yet. And I've been in the space for 10 years. This only makes sense. So what I want to do is go over the basics, exactly what you need to do to actually build your business. So in this space, there's a few different things you can do. Right? The most basic way to start your crypto payment business, really when you think about it, is you just have a way for the merchant to accept the payments. So the first question that always pops up is, well, why don't they just have their wallet address? Well, this is also the first step of what you need to know when you're talking to merchants. So the reason why they don't just have their wallet address is because, number one, there's no invoicing system. There's no receipts. There's no APIs. There's no clarification if the payment went through. They have to manually check the Explorer, which doesn't really make sense in business. Picture this, you're at a coffee shop, you walk up, the guy scans the QR code for the wallet address, they have to manually calculate how much to pay, they send it, and all of a sudden the barista has to go to the blockchain explorer and say, is this your wallet right here? Doesn't really make as much sense. And then she's gonna say, hey, you have 300K in Bitcoin, and it's just gonna be an awkward conversation of why you didn't tip. So all jokes aside, you start realizing where the value proposition is. So what you wanna do is be able to understand and explain that to a business owner, because it's actually really simple. So from there, what you need is a processor. So the processor is the one that provides that service. So instead of them using their wallet, what they actually do is they have a middleman that says, okay, cool, what I'm gonna do is automatically convert and determine what the price is. So if you're buying something for $75 and you want to pay in Ethereum, and the Ethereum is, let's just say 3,500, now I know you need 0.001 or whatever Ethereum to actually control this transaction. So what they're going to do is they're going to automatically populate that amount. They're going to have some type of QR system or some type of system that can scan, so they don't want to mistype the address. Then what ends up happening is the customer pays with that wallet address. The merchant needs to know, just like Apple Pay when you have that check mark that happens, they need to know that the payment went through, and there's usually some type of API integrations for receipts, for maybe some online invoicing system, or maybe there's some follow-on automations that happen with the payment, but essentially they're the ones that provide all that. So when you're partnering with these processors, the one thing you have to remember is you need to know how much you're gonna make, because unfortunately, if you look online, you're gonna see this. There's a fee schedule, and there's another fee schedule, and another fee schedule, and there's death by fees. And I'm not talking about fees to the customer. I mean, you're gonna start looking at the percentage points that you make and you realize, oh, this is negligible. When am I really gonna make over $10? And that's actually the whole point. The system is set up where you only make a fraction of a percentage, so you literally don't profit. It doesn't make sense. However, now that processor owns that contract to the business and they can just cut you out. So knowing that, you want to partner with processors that you have a little more flexibility and get pretty creative with the businesses that you're working with. So once you do that, what you need to do is find locations. So nowadays, any location matters. Before, we'd focus on more high-ticket businesses, online, etc. But nowadays, you can actually partner with any single one. You can focus on local, boring businesses, maybe some retail storefronts, or even just e-commerce. But essentially, you just want to get as many. It's a quantity game at this point because there's not that many people doing this. So what you want to do is get as many businesses as possible and then focus on lifetime value later. And then once you do that, what we do is we focus on scaling. So there's a few different ways. The first thing you do is also go to these businesses and just ask them like, hey, why aren't you accepting crypto? Or try to get a hold of that business owner or decision maker. That's going to be the least and probably the most time-consuming version of this. And when I say that, it's gonna be like the least, I'm not gonna say effective, but the least efficient, because it obviously works because it's a standard practice. But typically what you wanna do is use technology to your advantage, whether that's paid media, whether that's having VAs, whether that's having a call center that finds for you, or outsourcing the service. But essentially what you wanna do is just focus on the actual conversation with that business owner, and knowing that, hey, I'm gonna have to educate them. They're gonna wanna talk to somebody that's local to make sure they're not getting scammed, and I can't outsource that aspect. You want to focus on that and outsource the other parts of the manual labor of finding the location. So when you do that, then you want to focus on brand. And this is probably something that people don't really talk about, but with brand, think about it like this. You've seen Coca-Cola, you've seen Pepsi, you've seen Nike, and you start noticing that their price of their goods are a little higher sometimes than other things because it's the brand you recognize. Now, the keyword being recognize. As people start recognizing your brand, they start wanting to work with you. You start thinking about all those popular brands that you work with and you buy them because there's some type of reputation, there's quality, whatever. So as you start scaling your business past a certain point, what you're going to realize is you might as well start working on your brand. That might just be a logo. That might be a website. That might be a social media business account. But essentially, as those business owners start working with you, guess what? They're going to start seeing those logos pop up and other business owners are going to shop at those businesses. Then they're going to ask like, hey, who's providing this? If they say Joe Schmo's providing it, that's one thing. Versus they say Joe Schmo's digital payment processing, they can go to that website and start reaching out to you. So it's a hidden known fact or a hidden known secret in this space, but you want to make sure you build your brand because there's not that many brands doing this right now, so you can dominate the market. And once you wrap all that together, you really can start this business in about 2 weeks. And when I want to break down that timeline meaning, you usually have your foundational step where you're forming your business, you're getting your business bank account, you're getting your EIN or your federal registration number. From there, you're finding some processor to work with, then you're getting the equipment to work with also. After that, you're finding some businesses to work with, and that takes a little while because you need to talk to that business owner, sign them up, etc. Once you do that, we enter that scaling phase. In total time from you deciding from watching this video to actually launching the business, you should be up and running with your first business or first location within 2 weeks. That's the goal that you want to get to. If you're not within that timeline, you've probably failed or need some help with one of those steps. You can always comment below any of those questions or decide to just work with outsourcing companies like call centers, ourselves for like, the business in the box or anything that you want. But essentially that is the step-by-step to start your crypto payment business in 2026. And if you liked it, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. We're gonna have a lot more content like this, whether it's this business, scaling others, etc., just to make sure that you're able to be the best version of yourself, not a woo-woo version, but the best version of yourself in this business, scale up and diversify.